with, the most important thing is what type of data you're going to collect. Now if you look at the config button there, click on that and you click on data, you'll come to that panel. Now right now there's no data being collected. That's because there's no schema loaded. A schema is a data dictionary or definition of what the data items you want to collect are. So if I go to choose schema and I'll go and I'll load one, I'll load the default one. Now you see it's loaded a variety of items, and I'll show you in a second what those are. So right now, now that I've loaded the items, I'll go and I'll leave the config menu. Okay, now if we go to the data collection button here, pull it out, and we see the big gray space, the data collection item. If we click on that, we'll now see that we have a list of our items. Now these all came from, the definition came from the schema. You'll probably only need to change the schema once when you first start the software if you're collecting the same type of data over and over again. So let's say I want to collect a parcel. So there's the parcel. So if I double click on that, now here's where it says parcel. So that's my data item. Now it's also given me a minus, a cancel, and an OK button. Now a parcel consists of multiple items. So it takes several points to make a parcel. So if I click on my method, right now my method is still a cursor, so I mean I can still pan and move around, but I'm not actually collecting data. If I click there and I click on the pen, now it's waiting for me to collect data. So I can click on points and make my parcel. Now while I'm doing that, I could switch to another method, or I could press the GPS button to collect a point via GPS. So you can collect a parcel. Each point can be collected with a different method. So I go around my parcel. If I decide that last point was an error, I could just click the minus button, and you see the yellow lines actually disappeared. It's kept the red spot, but now if I want to go to there instead, you'll see that it's moved and the yellow line is connected. Okay, so now I've collected my parcel. Press the OK button, and now it's asking me for information. So it wants to know the owner, so I can put the owner's name in. Now this is a Unicode keyboard, so it has different, you can have all sorts of different languages. I have it set to English now, so I'll put in a name. There it is. Now it wants to know the house number, so house number 12. There you go. And notice how it's calculated the area of that parcel, and that's in square units of whichever measuring system I've defined. I'll go through that a bit later, but if you're working in meters, it'll be in meters. Okay, so there's my polygon, and there it is. Now let's say I want to do another type of item. I don't want to collect the method. I still want to use the same method. I'll use the pen, but I'll collect a different item. So I just click on that, and let's say I want to do a tree. And I've got a choice. Either I can just click on a point and it will bring up the field. So how high is the tree? I'll say the tree is 5 meters. What species of tree? And I'll say it's an elm. Condition, it's dead. So you fill out whatever attributes you want, and there is my icon. So that's how you do a point object. Now what happens if I want to do another one? Well, I could go and select tree again, and then it would give me let me do another tree. Or I could just press the plus button here. We'll basically repeat the function. So I'll go there. I won't enter that at the moment. And there we are. So the plus button will collect another of whatever you've already defined there. If you decide you want a little more space on the screen, because you're running this on a mobile device, you can always press the arrow again. It'll hide it and it'll bring it back out again. Now the third type of item are linear items. So let's say I go there. Now let's say a linear item might be a fence. I'll double click on fence. Again, because a fence will have multiple points, I've got the minus, cancel, and OK button there. And now I can just draw where my fence is going to be on the map. And now I'll click OK. It wants to know how high that fence is, and I'll say that's 2 meters. And what type of fence, and it's a stone wall. Right. And there we are. And that's now on the map. Now, so far, these items are the GIS items. They're items with attributes, points, lines, and polygons, and they have data attached to them. Now, what I can also do is, let's say you want to do items with no data. We call those CAD items. So, if you go up here, we have a CAD button. Now it says CAD, and we have another icon here. Now that, if I click on it, can give me points, lines, and polygons. So if I want to do a point, I can then touch the screen. If I want to do another point, press plus, touch the screen. Or I can do, now notice how it didn't come up and ask me to fill out any information. These are just graphical items. I want to do a polygon, I'll do a polygon. There you go. Notice how there's no icon in the middle of it, because there's no attribute data attached to that polygon. Okay, so I can always switch back from CAD items to something else. If I wanted to do a photo, I could do a picture, and say I took a picture here. Okay. So if I'm taking a picture or a photo field, I just click on the empty box. It brings up the capture icon. I can see the picture on the camera here. If I press click, there's my picture. I press exit, and that picture is now stored as part of the database. And there you go.